Lesson 1: Career Clarity.
That will certainly be beneficial. Have you discussed your goals with your manager?
I have scheduled a meeting to clarify my objectives.
What outcomes do you hope to achieve from that meeting?
I want clear expectations and support for development.
Have you prepared specific examples of your achievements?
I documented recent projects and measurable results.
Do you plan to present a development plan?
I drafted a stepwise plan with timelines and resources.
Will you ask for feedback on your strengths and gaps?
I will request candid feedback and examples for improvement.
Have you considered requesting a mentor or coach?
I considered a mentor to guide my career decisions.
Do you know which skills your manager values most?
I researched team priorities and aligned my goals accordingly.
Have you defined short-term milestones for the year?
I set quarterly milestones that are realistic and testable.
Do you plan to discuss compensation linked to goals?
I intend to discuss fair compensation that reflects impact.
Could such a discussion become contentious?
It could, if expectations are unclear or misaligned.
How will you handle disagreement during the meeting?
I will remain calm and seek to find common ground.
Will you ask for measurable success criteria?
Measurable criteria will make performance evaluation fair.
Have you practiced the conversation beforehand?
I rehearsed with a colleague to refine my points.
Do you expect support for professional training?
I will request targeted training to close skill gaps.
Have you considered alternative pathways if the manager disagrees?
I considered lateral moves or project-based leadership roles.
Do you plan to set review dates to track progress?
I scheduled follow-up meetings every quarter for updates.
Will you ask for more autonomy in your role?
I will propose pilot initiatives to demonstrate readiness.
Could increased autonomy provoke resistance from peers?
It might, if communication and collaboration are lacking.
How will you ensure team cohesion while seeking growth?
I will involve colleagues and share credit for successes.
Have you defined how success will be measured quantitatively?
I listed key performance indicators tied to business goals.
Will you include soft skill development in your plan?
I included leadership and communication milestones.
Have you prepared to negotiate timelines if needed?
I will propose phased milestones to ensure feasibility.
Do you intend to request resources for experiments?
I will request limited resources for pilot programs.
Could management view your proposals as risky?
Some may see risk, but I will present mitigation strategies.
Have you considered the political landscape of your workplace?
I assessed stakeholders and potential allies for support.
Will you ask for clear authority when leading initiatives?
I will request defined decision-making boundaries.
Have you discussed measurable impact on team metrics?
I will tie my proposals to revenue and efficiency metrics.
Do you plan to document the meeting outcomes formally?
I will summarize agreements and share them in writing.
Could written records cause tension with your manager?
They should promote clarity but may feel bureaucratic to some.
How will you build trust before asking for big changes?
I will demonstrate reliability through consistent delivery.
Have you set a fallback plan if promotions are delayed?
I prepared smaller role expansions to show readiness.
Will you request sponsorship for high visibility projects?
I will seek sponsors who can advocate for my initiatives.
Could asking for visibility backfire in competitive teams?
It can, so I will emphasize team outcomes over personal gain.
Do you plan to show return on investment for proposed training?
I will estimate potential gains and cost-benefit analyses.
Have you prepared to accept incremental approvals?
I am open to phased approvals and staged commitments.
Will you ask for measurable leadership opportunities?
I will request ownership of small cross-functional efforts.
Have you rehearsed answers to tough questions?
I prepared concise responses to possible objections.
Do you intend to seek external feedback about your plan?
I consulted a mentor to refine my approach and language.
Will you align your goals with the company vision explicitly?
I will show how my goals support strategic priorities.
Could transparency about ambitions cause bias?
It could, which is why I will frame ambitions in team terms.
Have you prepared a timeline for potential promotion steps?
I outlined a reasonable timeline tied to measurable outcomes.
Will you ask for clear indicators for promotion readiness?
I will request specific benchmarks to aim for.
Have you thought about the role of networking inside the company?
I plan targeted connections to gain broader support.
Will you share credit when presenting results publicly?
I will acknowledge contributors and highlight collaboration.
Could your manager misinterpret assertiveness as aggression?
That is possible, so I will maintain respectful and evidence-based tones.
Have you set a realistic expectation for how fast change will happen?
I set realistic timelines to avoid disappointment and burnout.
Do you intend to revisit goals if priorities shift?
I will adapt goals when business needs change.
Will you request support for work-life balance while pursuing growth?
I will ask for realistic workloads and flexible schedules when needed.
Could the conversation lead to unexpected opportunities?
It often does when managers see clear initiative and planning.
Have you prepared to follow up with measurable early wins?
I planned quick wins to build momentum and trust.
Will you ask your manager to help remove roadblocks?
I will request assistance with organizational obstacles.
Have you considered formalizing a personal development agreement?
I will propose an agreement that outlines steps, timelines, and support.
Do you plan to keep learning independent of managerial support?
I will pursue continuous learning even with limited support.
Could your openness encourage others to set goals too?
It could create a culture of clarity and deliberate growth.
Would you recommend other learners to discuss goals with managers?
I would, because aligned expectations promote progress.
How will you maintain momentum after the initial meeting?
I will track progress weekly and report outcomes concisely.
Do you believe such discussions can be trending topics online?
They can, especially when linked to career transparency debates.
Could sharing career conversations publicly become controversial?
Public sharing can spark debate about privacy and strategy.
How should one balance openness and discretion in career talk?
Share frameworks and lessons, not sensitive internal details.
Will you record lessons learned from each review cycle?
I will document insights and adjust my approach accordingly.
Have you set a measurable metric to judge managerial support?
I will measure responsiveness, resource allocation, and clear feedback.
Do you plan to celebrate milestones with your team?
I will celebrate wins to reinforce shared purpose.
Could celebrating publicly be seen as self-promotion?
It could, so I will frame celebrations around team achievements.
Will you keep your language simple for clarity during reviews?
I will use concise, evidence-based language to avoid confusion.
Have you considered how cultural norms affect such conversations?
I considered cultural expectations and adapted my tone accordingly.
Do you think managers prefer structured proposals?
Many prefer structured proposals that show forethought and metrics.
Will you practice humility while asserting your ambitions?
I will remain humble and acknowledge collective contributions.
Have you planned contingency steps if goals are blocked?
I prepared alternative pathways to continue development.
Do you intend to close the meeting with agreed next steps?
I will confirm actions, owners, and dates before concluding.
Will you thank your manager and express appreciation?
I will thank them and emphasize my commitment to team success.
Have you decided how to follow up after the discussion?
I will send a concise summary and request confirmation of next steps.
Do you believe clear goal discussion can alter career trajectories?
It can profoundly influence career momentum and opportunity.
What is your final preparation tip before such a meeting?
Be specific, be evidence-based, and be ready to listen.
Be concise, be prepared, and be persistent.
Lesson 2, Weekend Wanderlust.
Hi, have you thought about our weekend plans?
Yes, I have.
I think we should go on a short road trip.
Which direction do you prefer?
I prefer the coast for fresh air and views.
The coast sounds calming and energizing.
We can leave early on Saturday morning.
Early departure will avoid heavy traffic.
We should map scenic routes in small towns.
Small towns often offer unique local cuisine.
I wish to try a seaside cafe with fresh seafood.
I will research highly rated cafes and menus.
Should we book accommodation in advance?
Booking early secures the best locations.
I can handle hotel reservations and confirmations.
I will prepare an itinerary for activities.
What activities would you enjoy on the shore?
I would enjoy a long walk on the boardwalk.
I will pack comfortable shoes for walking.
I would like to visit a coastal art gallery.
Art can provide cultural insight into the region.
I also hope to find a local farmer's market.
Markets often feature fresh produce and crafts.
I will note market hours and locations.
Shall we include a short coastal hike?
A hike will offer exercise and spectacular views.
I will check trail difficulty and safety notes.
I will prepare a list of essential gear.
I will charge camera batteries for scenic photos.
Photographs will document memories and practice English.
We can narrate scenes aloud to improve speaking skills.
That idea will make learning enjoyable and active.
Do you prefer a picnic or dining out for lunch?
A picnic will feel intimate and relaxed.
I will pack a blanket and reusable utensils.
I will prepare simple sandwiches and fruit.
Should we plan for unpredictable weather?
We should bring layers and a compact umbrella.
I will check the weekend weather forecast tonight.
I will find alternative indoor activities if it rains.
Would you like to include a sunset boat trip?
A boat trip would be romantic and memorable.
I will research reputable local operators and prices.
I will review safety ratings and customer feedback.
Shall we invite another couple to join us?
Inviting others may change the mood and pace.
You are correct, we should decide based on activities.
I prefer a quiet trip for focused conversation.
A quiet trip will also support language practice.
Will we need to rent a car for the journey?
My car is reliable, and I will drive us.
Thank you for offering to drive responsibly.
I will ensure the vehicle has a full tank and checks.
I will prepare a playlist of varied music selections.
Music will set the tone and enhance the drive.
Should we set specific learning goals for the weekend?
Simple goals can increase progress and motivation.
I will practice new vocabulary related to travel.
I will practice descriptive phrases for scenery.
We can review short journal entries each evening.
Journaling will reinforce grammar and reflection skills.
Will we limit screen time to engage more fully?
Limiting screens will deepen our attention to details.
I will take notes by hand to retain new words.
Handwriting can aid memory and active learning.
Do you anticipate any logistical challenges?
I anticipate possible parking scarcity in busy areas.
We can arrive earlier to secure convenient parking.
I will download offline maps in case of weak signal.
Offline maps will provide reassurance and direction.
Shall we plan meals around local specialties?
Tasting local specialties will enrich the cultural experience.
I will list restaurants that receive local praise.
I will read reviews and confirm opening hours.
Would you like to include an art or history museum?
A museum visit will broaden our contextual knowledge.
I will purchase time tickets to minimize queues.
Time tickets will also relieve scheduling stress.
Should we keep our pace relaxed rather than packed?
A relaxed pace will allow genuine enjoyment and rest.
We will leave room for spontaneous discoveries.
Spontaneity often leads to the most memorable moments.
Will you bring a light first aid kit for safety?
I will include plasters, antiseptic wipes, and pain relief.
I will also bring a portable phone charger and power bank.
Practical items will keep us prepared for mishaps.
Do you wish to capture short video clips for YouTube?
Short clips can share our journey and language tips.
We should plan concise footage that highlights learning.
We will focus on clear narration and informative captions.
Ethical sharing will avoid exposing private locations.
We will respect local privacy and cultural norms.
Will we set a schedule for filming and relaxation?
A balanced schedule will prevent overcommitment.
I will edit clips into short, high-quality episodes.
High-quality editing will attract and retain viewers.
Do you expect any controversy from public sharing?
Controversy can arise if content lacks sensitivity.
We will present respectful commentary and accurate facts.
Will monetization influence the authenticity of our trip?
Monetization must not compromise integrity and honesty.
We will disclose sponsorships and remain transparent.
Transparency will build trust with our audience.
Should we include language learning prompts for viewers?
Language prompts will add educational value to the content.
I will prepare simple exercises for beginners.
I will create clear examples and pronunciation guides.
Shall we conclude each day with reflective dialogue?
Daily reflection will model practical language use.
Will we encourage viewers to comment and practice?
Engagement will motivate learners and create community.
Are you comfortable with live streaming parts of the trip?
Live streaming may add excitement but increase pressure.
We can limit live sessions to short segments only.
That approach will balance spontaneity and preparation.
Do you foresee any safety concerns with filming outdoors?
We will remain vigilant and avoid hazardous spots.
I will carry identification and emergency contacts.
I will program local emergency numbers into my phone.
Will we keep a respectful distance from wildlife?
We will observe wildlife responsibly and avoid interference.
Should we check local regulations for drones?
We will verify drone laws and obtain permits if needed.
I will practice concise descriptive sentences for recordings.
Clear descriptions will aid comprehension for learners.
Do you want to schedule quiet time for reading?
Quiet reading will be restorative and intellectually stimulating.
I will choose travel literature and language practice texts.
Reading aloud at intervals can improve pronunciation skills.
Will we share reading recommendations with our audience?
Sharing recommendations will support our educational mission.
Should we plan a final scene on a cliff at sunset?
A sunset scene will provide a dramatic and cinematic close.
I will prepare a short, reflective monologue for that moment.
Reflection will tie together travel, learning, and personal growth.
Will you finalize the packing list tonight?
I will finalize the packing list and confirm reservations.
I will print directions and double-check all bookings.
I will also ensure that both passports or IDs are accessible.
I will prepare snacks and hydration for the drive.
I will handle transport, reservations, and safety checks.
Lesson 3: Leisure Logistics.
That is a good idea. How about a frisbee and a deck of cards?
A frisbee will encourage active play and fresh air.
A deck of cards will offer relaxed entertainment afterward.
Which frisbee games do you suggest for beginners?
Simple toss and catch will teach coordination and timing.
Would ultimate-style small games be too intense?
Short, friendly rounds can be energetic yet safe.
Should we designate a clear playing area on the lawn?
A clear area will reduce collisions and protect property.
Will we include warm-up stretches before active play?
Warm-ups will prevent strains and enhance performance.
Do you intend to explain rules slowly for learners?
I will describe each rule in plain, short sentences.
Should we demonstrate techniques before playing?
Demonstration will make concepts clearer and memorable.
Will we show correct frisbee grip and release?
We will show firm grip and smooth wrist flicks.
Can we include a short challenge for accuracy?
A target challenge will motivate practice and focus.
Should we time short sprints to measure improvement?
Short sprints will add a light cardio element to play.
Will we rotate positions to involve everyone?
Rotation will keep the session dynamic and inclusive.
Do you plan to record clips for explanatory content?
Short clips with captions will aid language comprehension.
Will you add slow motion for technical points?
Slow motion will highlight form and technique clearly.
Should we guide vocabulary alongside actions?
We will name motions and strategies to build vocabulary.
Will you prompt viewers to repeat short phrases aloud?
Repetition will strengthen pronunciation and retention.
Shall we prepare card games suitable for small groups?
We will choose easy-to-learn games such as Rummy and War.
Will you explain scoring in stepwise fashion?
Stepwise scoring examples will clarify numerical language.
Should we include cooperative card games for teamwork?
Cooperative games will teach collaboration and polite speech.
Will you discuss etiquette for competitive play?
Etiquette will emphasize respect and good sportsmanship.
Could a highly competitive tone alienate some learners?
We will balance competition with encouragement and fairness.
Should we offer alternatives for varying fitness levels?
Alternatives will make activities accessible to all participants.
Will you ensure safety advice appears prominently?
Safety tips will precede demonstrations and be repeated.
Do you plan to address weather considerations for outdoor play?
We will suggest shaded breaks and hydration on hot days.
Will you recommend suitable footwear for frisbee play?
Closed shoes with grip will reduce ankle injuries.
Should we include a brief first aid segment?
A basic first aid guide will prepare participants for minor incidents.
Will you show how to treat small cuts and sprains?
Clear steps and calm language will demystify simple care.
Could debates arise over competitive intensity in public parks?
Local rules and courtesy must guide intensity and space use.
Will you advise checking park regulations before playing?
Confirming local rules will prevent fines and conflicts.
Should we discuss respect for shared public spaces?
Respectful behavior preserves access and community goodwill.
Will you include a segment on sustainable disposables for picnics?
We will recommend reusable items and proper waste disposal.
Should we discuss cultural differences in recreational norms?
Awareness of cultural norms will foster inclusive interactions.
Will you invite viewers to suggest alternative games?
Viewer suggestions will create engagement and idea sharing.
Should we provide multiple language-friendly instructions?
Simple phrasing and visual cues will aid multilingual learners.
Will you add on-screen vocabulary lists for key terms?
Vocabulary lists will reinforce learning and reference practice.
Should we time each activity to keep a clear structure?
A timed outline will help learners follow and plan practice.
Will you include short reflection prompts after activities?
Reflection prompts will develop critical thinking and language use.
Could competitive recording for social media spark controversy?
Public sharing must respect privacy and avoid harassment.
Will you instruct on consent before filming others?
Consent is essential and must be obtained clearly and politely.
Should monetization be disclosed if sponsored equipment is used?
Full disclosure preserves trust and complies with guidelines.
Will you suggest low-cost options for equipment?
Affordable alternatives will increase accessibility for learners.
Should you emphasize the social benefits of mixed activities?
Mixed activities combine exercise, conversation, and bonding.
Will you model polite invitations for inclusion?
Inclusive invitations encourage participation and confidence.
Should we teach polite refusals and graceful exits?
Teaching polite refusals will prepare learners for real situations.
Will you set an example of polite congratulations after play?
Celebrating effort will reinforce positive language and morale.
Should we prepare a brief segment on rules adaptation?
Adaptation will allow learners to modify games for skill levels.
Will you recommend simple stretching at the end?
Post-activity stretching will support recovery and flexibility.
Should we include calming breathing exercises afterward?
Breathing exercises will restore calm and support language focus.
Will you encourage journaling about the experience?
Journaling will consolidate vocabulary and personal reflection.
Could you suggest follow-up practice activities at home?
Home drills will reinforce technique and language independently.
Will you offer downloadable practice cards for learners?
Printable cards will provide convenient reference and exercises.
Should you include a short quiz to test vocabulary?
A concise quiz will help assess retention and confidence.
Will you provide answers and brief explanations afterward?
Answers with explanations will support self-correction and learning.
Should community challenges be launched to increase hype?
Community challenges can motivate and build a supportive audience.
Will you caution against unhealthy competition for prizes?
Healthy competition must prioritize fairness and enjoyment.
Should prizes emphasize learning rather than material gain?
Learning-based rewards will sustain long-term engagement.
Will you feature success stories from diverse participants?
Diverse stories will inspire and normalize broad participation.
Should you explore controversial views on gender and sports respectfully?
Sensitive topics require balanced presentation and factual context.
Will you provide resources for further reading on inclusion?
Resource lists will guide learners to deepen their understanding.
Should the final segment recap key language and safety points?
A concise recap will reinforce major lessons and next steps.
Will you invite feedback to improve future lessons?
Feedback will inform improvements and community needs.
Should the closing include a polite call to action for practice?
A polite call to action will encourage immediate and sustained engagement.